So here we go then. Welcome back to the channel. We've all been waiting for it. It's the WTRL Zwift Racing League Finals. This is the Syco-list. Let's get on with it. So here you go then. The WTRL Zwift Racing League Finals have finally landed. There's going to be 3 races in the finals, and this is my recon of race 1. Race 1 is going to be a scratch race taking place on Danger Noodle, which was a custom course from the last round. So the course itself then is 32.3 kilometers in length, 414 meters of elevation. We raced this in the last round, and it was a custom course for that one. I quite enjoyed it until I didn't, which was the second time coming back over Titan's Grave. So this one starts in the race pens in downtown Watopia. We head out and take on the S's, and leads us into the Roman villas where we do a loop and return back over the S's to downtown Watopia. And from there we head out to Titan's Grove. We do Titan's Grove forward and reverse before the finish line is in downtown Watopia. So at the time of recording this video and recon for you, there wasn't any update on power-ups for this race. So guessing it being a scratch race, there probably will be no power-ups for you. Normally bike choice is a topic that I like to discuss and has quite a few comments and feedback on. At the moment, with the updates that Zwift have taken on with the new bike upgrades, there has been a few issues. That is that some people have managed to get upgrades to bikes by doing very little for those upgrades, and Zwift are working behind the scenes to do that. And I'm expecting that there will be a Zwift update at some point soon. So I'm not sure at the moment what bikes will be available to you, whether the race will be neutralised and we'll all be on Tron bikes like I've seen in other races recently. But at the moment, I'm unsure of what bike choices are going to be available to you. All I can say at the moment, the Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL8 seems to be the quickest bike in game at the moment. But who knows on the day what bikes will be available to us. We might have to all race on the Tron bike. Makes it a bit more of a fair level playing field in my opinion. It's something that I've done recently, quite enjoyed. As always with all my recon videos, the recon notes will be available in the link in the description below. Use them wisely way out on the course. They might come in useful and handy just to mark a few points and lumps and bumps along the way for you. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's dive into the recon.
So here we go then, we'll start this race in the downtown Watopia race pens and lead out through downtown Watopia. Please ignore any power-ups that pop up on screen. I'm using the old footage from the old WTRL round, as I haven't had a chance to ride this recon again for you. At the moment there are no power-ups listed on the WTRL website for this race being a scratch race, so just take it at the moment there are no power-ups available. It might change prior to the event, it might not, but just keep an eye on the WTRL website. But at the moment it's listed as a scratch race with no power-ups, and there's no restrictions or comments at the moment about what bikes will be available, whether the event will be restricted to a particular bike. But we'll leave downtown Watopia, head out through the S's here, and leads us out to the Roman villas, where we do a loop of the Roman villas before coming back over the S's and head back towards downtown Watopia. It's quite an interesting little course. When we raced it, it was a little bit easier over the S's than I expected it to be in the race. Things seemed to ease as we went round the Roman villas, but on the second time coming back over the S's, the race seemed to sort of get motivated and start moving a little bit then as we headed towards downtown Watopia. Obviously this recon video is being done for you for the WTRL finals, but if you look back on my other videos you will see not only the recon I did for last round on this Danger Noodle course, but also my race that I did on this course in the last series of WTRL as well. So you might find them useful to have a look at what a category B race was like last time round if you didn't race it. But here we are back over the wooden bridge and back up over the S's. This is where, from memory, my race seemed to sort of pick up a little bit as people tried to attack on these S's just to try and bridge a gap. But our group seemed to hold together quite well over these. So you do the S's, and then we take the right hand turn at the end of the S's, which will lead us back into downtown Watopia, through downtown Watopia, and then we take the left hand turn towards Ocean Boulevard before the final left hand turn we take, leading us out towards Titan's Grove and the road that sort of leads us out towards the desert before we take that right hand turn to Titan's Grove. So here we are, just passing through downtown Watopia, about to go through the banner which we started from. And as we come through here, we make the short little climb out of downtown Watopia and take the road towards the Ocean Boulevards and Titan's Grove. So here we are on the road that leads us out towards the Fuego Flats before we take a right hand turn which leads us out into Titan's Grove. The only way I can describe Titan's Grove is just rolling hills basically all the way out before you get to the Com, Titan's Grove reverse Com, which is the most significant climb going this way. And then once you've gone over that Com, we make a descent down towards Fuego Flats in the desert before we make a resip and turn around on ourselves and come back up over Titan's Grove and back towards the finish line. But like I say, these are rolling hills. You need to push on those ups, try and recover on the downs a little bit. But depending on your race and how strategies are going, you can find these sort of fairly easy to roll and draft within the group. Just need to be mindful not doing too much on the front. But you can draft most of these rolling hills leading out and save some energy for that Com. So as we take this right hand turn here at 13 kilometers, we start Titan's Grove Com reverse, which is a 4.3% average gradient and lasts 0.9 of a kilometer. Gets a little bit twisty towards the top and a little bit steeper around the 5-6% towards the top, but just push over this and then you've got the descent. You might have to burn a match over the top to get back on the group if you've been slightly dropped, but make the most of trying to get over the top of this one with the group, because the descent in the group is going to be beneficial to you. For at the bottom you turn around and come back up Titan's Grove Com forward. Like I said, ignore the power-ups on the screen, they were from an old video from last round. At the moment there are no power-ups suggested being offered on this race, being a scratch race. So we're now down on the desert flats, heading towards Fuego Flats. But what we're going to do here is do a full loop of this roundabout around this structure and then head ourselves back out to Titan's Grove to do the common forward this time. This way background seems to be a little bit more draggy and more drawn out, probably a little bit steeper than doing the comm in reverse. That's how I found it anyway last time. Just need to bear with it. I got dropped just before the top of this comm last time, so I know what I need to do on this climb. Try and sit in a little bit more and recover where I can, because this one does drag and roll a bit to start with before you actually get to the comm. So here we go then, the Titan's Grove comm is 2.2% average gradient, 2.6 kilometers in length, so it is longer than the comm in reverse. Slightly less average gradient, but towards the top of it, when you're really in that hurt locker, that's when it seems to get steeper for that final kick. So you just need to sort of sit in as best you can here. I need to learn from my own mistakes last time on this one. And try and hold the group and not get dropped at the top of this one. But this one, push through this, and then you'll have the descent down what we've just ridden up, basically, the common reverse, roll over those final rolling hills before we head out back towards downtown Watopia for the finish. So here we are then coming towards the top of the Titan's Grove comm. 25 kilometers into this race now, just pushing over the top here before you make the descent down the other side. Once you're making the descent down the other side, just bear in mind that you have got some rolling hills to do in reverse this way. We did them earlier coming out, and I actually think they're easier going this way on this part here. That's my own opinion. Some people didn't agree with me last time, but I think these rollers going this way are easier than doing it in reverse like we did shortly. Stick with the wheels, try and get in the draft as best you can and save some energy, because you want to come out of Titan's Grove with the main pack and get that respite in as best you can before you head towards downtown Watopia for that final sprint. So here we are now, closing into the final parts of this race. You can see downtown Watopia ahead of you in the distance there. You've got to go over this long wooden bridge before we take the right-hand turn. Leads us nicely towards downtown Watopia before that final right-hand turn drops us down in towards that sprint line. So this is where you need to start thinking about your sprint. I normally go on this bend here and attack, and then your race line and finish will be ahead of you.
Well, there you go then. That's my recon done of race 1 of the WTRL Zwift Racing League finals. It's a scratch race taking place on Danger Noodle, and I think it'd be quite an interesting scratch race with a few areas that people might try and break away in. Just remember that the Recon Notes are down in the description below. Use them wisely out on course, they might come in handy. And if you are liking these videos, then please do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.